Hey everybody, I just want to make this video regarding NIO, and I feel like this is important because I noticed that no one is really talking about this in the NIO community. NIO YouTubers don't really talk about this either, and I just want to share my point of view on things, okay? Not a financial advisor, please do your own research. This is just my humble opinion, and I wanted to share this and I want to take my time because for me personally, this is very important. I noticed that a lot of NIO YouTubers or NIO stock discussions solely based on a micro level, the week to week, and things like that. But I think that people don't really understand the economics behind things or the company or what these the CEOs are thinking because they don't really consider the larger picture of things. They don't really look at things from like a larger point of view. They don't follow economics. They don't follow the micro or macro of things. They don't follow news. They don't follow geopolitics. And then they don't forecast or build a framework to predict the future. I strongly believe, in my humble opinion, that when you are investing in a growth stock or you are investing in a turnaround play, you need to build your own framework to what is a good value for you, and then you need to forecast and you need to make your own prediction on how you think the company will play out in a certain amount of years. And so when you look at the micro level of things, it doesn't really help. So anyway, I'm going to take my time, so please be patient. I think this is important, and I think this video is going to be worth your while because no one is talking about it. And I think from what I've seen, no one's talking about it, and I don't want to make these videos because I don't get anything from them and it's a lot of time on my hand, but I feel like people should consider these things. And if someone else can start doing it, that'd be great because then I don't have to. But someone needs to start focusing on the macro, okay? Anyway, with that being said, so what we have here is the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. And so this is kind of like APEC. It's kind of like your global economic blocks. And you need to understand why this is important. This was one of the founding countries is the United States. So you have the member economies. These are all large key players in the Asian Pacific economies, including the United States. And what are they going to be discussing between November 11th and the 17th? Well, I highly encourage, if you want to be more informed, that you look into their website. But look, this trading block, this community accounts for nearly 40 to 50% of the global trade. Okay, this is nothing small. This is where this is like the United Nations of big economies that discuss the economic aspects. It's kind of like the United Nations, but it focuses more on the economics of things. Okay, and so there are a few things that I can discuss that APEC discusses. One would be like the market accesses, which helps like in the context of China, it helps like China gain access into new markets and strengthens relationships. It helps like the regional integration of Chinese economies and Chinese trade. It also helps for policy and dialogue. So this allows for the Chinese economies and just all the economies in general to discuss what kind of policies they want to see moving forward to strengthen trade. It also promotes free market and free trade between these. So like it's actually supposed to be used to like discuss tariffs and reducing tariffs to better trade and globalization. It also helps encourage cooperation and business networking, along with the capacity to build and to enhance like the economies by reforming policies like trades and tariffs, and also improve supply chains and sustainable developments. And it's also used for disputing disputes and mediation towards disputes. It's sort of like the United Nations except for business, so except this one actually gets things done. So yeah, it's also used to like mediate disputes, like if there's tariffs and trade restrictions then or laws that are disputable, then they'll dispute these things at a more prominent level. Okay. And this helps a bunch of different supply chains and smaller to large businesses in China, and just pretty much globally. But I just want to speak about the context of China, okay? So like, if one thing I've noticed is that, yes, this is going to be one of those things that reduce tariffs and trade restrictions, okay? So it's really important that you guys look into this, in my humble opinion. And when you look at these kind of economic planning blocks, you get a better idea of where the world's heading. So when you look at only the micro level, and William Lee Bin says something like, oh, okay, we're going to expand to the United States, we're not going to build a factory, and we're going to start exporting our cars. It doesn't make sense, right? People are like, whoa, what? There's like a 25% tariff though. Like, why would you do that? No one's going to buy it. They're going to upcharge you. You can't even get the subsidies. Very true. But if you have someone like Gavin Newsom, who went to China, who discussed climate change, who discussed business strengthening business ties and all these types of things, and then you have Joe Biden and Xi Jinping set to steal the APEC spotlight, talks about steady ties, then odds are you're going to have a United States, maybe, perhaps, they could be reducing tariffs. So it makes more sense, right? That, hey, it's possible that tariffs could be reduced to allow more Chinese companies to come into the United States, and for Chinese car companies, EV companies, electric vehicle companies to come to the United States and start selling their electric vehicles. So yes, when you have the governor from the largest economy, Gavin Newsom, come to China to discuss climate change efforts and to strengthen business ties, and you have someone like Xi Jinping and Joe Biden going to be in San Francisco, these are really big deals. This is the first time they've met up in person in a long, 4+ years, I believe. Don't quote me on that. So please look into this. This is not a small deal, because depending on how things go, if we see signs that maybe tariffs could be lowered and reduced because the United States needs China to bail out our economy like they did in 2008, then perhaps you could see that China could have a better trading relation with the United States. Because you guys have to remember that if we wanted to reach lower inflation rates, we're never going to do that without China, okay? Because China produces goods and services at all levels. They buy our debt. They give us a lot of surplus in goods and services, and they give us a lot of technologies as well, which reduces inflation for us, right? Because it's like, without Walmart and all these other stores, well, we're going to be paying high amounts for everything. So yes, if you follow the global macro of things, like, you'll notice that China's been selling off US debts and treasuries, and it's pretty concerning for the United States. So maybe China could bail out the United States like in 2008, which would help United States and China have stronger relationships. Now, when you look at the Chinese stock market, something you guys need to understand is that the higher the market cap is for companies, it allows these companies to raise more capital, right? And so if Chinese companies are starting to lead and beat out some of the United States companies, it's in the best interest of United States Wall Street to keep Chinese company stocks down, because then they can't raise much capital. Then you can't have a company like NIO beating Tesla out, because that would hit US revenues. But you can't suppress stocks forever, right? So if we see like changes in policy, softening up on trade tariffs, things like that, and strengthening the United States and Chinese trade, then perhaps we could see the NIO actually coming over to the United States by 2025. And you know what? Hey, maybe they might have to build a factory here to get around tariffs, or maybe they won't have to if we reduce our tariffs, right? This is the place. This is something you need to follow. So I hope someone like one of those YouTubers can look into this more, because I know some of them are really smart and they understand the financial side of this, and then they can maybe like build some forecasts and things like that. So yeah, please look into this. I think it's really worthwhile. It's a great thing to have a discussion about. And yeah, so please, this is really important. It's something that can help you. If we do notice if we do notice like some positive sentiment from this thing, it could probably help things out. Okay, that is if you don't want to focus on just the micro and you want to focus on the macro of things. Okay, this may not be important if all you really do is care about numbers and the week to week. But if you want to concern yourself with like the larger picture in the future and predicting things based on the events going on in the world and like how things are going to be shaped moving forward, then for someone like me, how things happen in APEC can help me better make prediction on how I see things could be moving forward, which is where I would consider how I would do things moving forward. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research, and I hope you all have a good day.